Okay, hello and welcome to ExecTech's webinar, How to Win with Yelp. Today is November 11th and I'm Mike Chatelaine, the author of a new book called Yelp Help for Healthcare Providers. That's my picture and this is the book. You can now get it in paperback as well as in the ebook format. So during the next 45 minutes, I'm going to go over how to make your Yelp page look awesome, how to handle negative reviews, how to get more positive reviews, and we have about 15 questions that were submitted with the registration form, so I'll answer those questions as we go and at the end. I also have 3 gifts for you to thank you for attending this webinar. Okay, let's get started. A Yelp page has 5 key parts. Number 1, is the practice's Yelp page claimed or unclaimed? Now, if your practice Yelp page is unclaimed, you are a sitting duck. Everyone in the world can describe your practice without your knowledge or approval. If your Yelp page is claimed, you can start to rule your domain. Number 2, what do your photos look like? Your patients, former staff members, or anyone else can upload a picture about you or your practice, again, without your knowledge or approval. So, how do you want your practice to appear? If you take a proactive stance and act on it, you can control what the world sees. 3, what do the reviews look like? This includes, more than anything else, the practice owner's comments to negative reviews. Statistically, your comments are the most important feature of your Yelp page, as these comments are viewed more often than anything else. Unfortunately, for some practice owners, you cannot pay Yelp to hide bad reviews and show good reviews. Number 4, are competitor ads on your page? Now, this is the only part of your Yelp page that you can't control for free. Yelp does need to make money, and selling advertising is its only option. As it stands today, you can only remove ads of other practice owners who, by the way, pay Yelp for advertising. The only way you can remove their ads is by buying some Yelp advertising of your own. Fortunately, it's not too expensive to remove their ads. And if your Yelp page is awesome in all the other 4 free parts, your practice will still benefit from Yelp, even if you never pay a dime to Yelp. And number 5, are your practice details on your Yelp page or not? Now, Yelp will display your practice's website link, your hours of operation, your practice philosophy, your biography, and more if you want. The more potential new patients know about you, the more likely they are to call for an appointment. In fact, Yelp will not only prominently display your office phone number, it will send email messages from potential new patients to you or anyone you want. It will show your location on a map, it will offer directions to your office, and it will open their cell phone navigator apps to go to your office. Yelp's mission is to connect patients who are looking for great practices like yours. All right, so now we're going to take a look at some actual Yelp pages live on Yelp. I'm using Dallas, Texas healthcare providers because I'm pretty sure no one from Dallas is at this webinar. In fact, if you are at this webinar, you've probably already made the first improvement to your Yelp page, and that is, of course, claiming it. In this case, because you can see this link, the practice owner has not claimed the Yelp page. And she needs to do this because she has some negative, at least this first negative review should be dealt with, which means she needs to communicate with CS or she needs to post a public comment. When you claim the page, you can then post your hours, and you can add pictures and so on. Now anybody can do this. Like let's say I wanted to post a picture, and I would just choose it and post it, and that'd be that. So hopefully they'd be flattering for Jane. And if they're not flattering for Jane, or they don't represent the practice, you can actually have those photos removed. You can see here also that someone else can edit your categories and decide if you're you're not a doctor or something like that. Now if you claim the page, then you have more power over the page. Of course, you can put in your website, you can post some pictures, put in your hours, and so on. Here's another one where the practice owner has not claimed it. And when Yelp users see that this hasn't been claimed, they get the correct impression that this practice owner doesn't care enough about Yelp, or has been told to ignore Yelp and hasn't taken an important step to claim it. Fortunately for this dental office, some patients have posted some pictures, put in the website, and so on. And you can see how they can do it here, even though they say they're not the practice owner, but they can put in the website or anything else they want. So if you are the practice owner, you definitely want to claim it so that you can control these things yourself. To claim it, simply click this link, enter your information, your name, your email address, your password, and then click continue. And when you click continue, another screen will pop up saying, we are now going to call your practice phone number. And if someone answers it and types in these 4 digits, you will then have control of your Yelp profile page. It's that easy. Okay, now let's look at some, the next factor of an awesome Yelp page is the pictures. And this is very easy to control. As you can see, the difference between this page and this page is quite amazing. This page and this page. So just by posting some pictures you may already have around your office, or you can use a high quality cell phone even to take some nice pictures, it makes a big difference for your page. Now ideally you would use a professional photographer to take pictures of your staff, of your office, the exterior of your office, you, and especially a headshot of you. You'll need a really nice looking headshot for posting public comments and sending private messages to reviewers. So you want it to look nice. It's harder for people to attack you if they see a beautiful smiling face as opposed to nothing at all. Now, one warning about pictures is that you make sure they're not scary, like there's no big scars or scary, like say this one here might be a little bit scary for some patients. And I don't think I'd want this on my Yelp page. This is a nice picture showing their sign. I don't know about this one. That can make people feel queasy, especially if they've, oh, here's another one. That could definitely make people feel a little queasy. So if the practice owner put that picture up, he or she can take it down with just a click. But if someone else put it up there, the practice owner can't take it down and has to ask Yelp to remove it. And Yelp will remove it if you say this doesn't really represent my practice. Or in this case, it might scare patients away and I'd rather it was not on my Yelp page. And we've had good luck with Yelp removing pictures that were not appropriate or not helpful. Let's go on to the next thing that creates an awesome or awful Yelp page, which of course is reviews. Now, needless to say, your reviews are the most important part of your Yelp page. You can see what your reviews look like here by clicking details. And it'll show, in this case, Janet Mason has 3 1-stars and 1 5-star. Oh, by the way, obviously her name is Janet Mason, not Mason Janet. And if you just send a note to Yelp through the business owner page, they'll change it right away, no problem. This one also has the same problem. It's Bruce Sherrill is his name. Now, Both Bruce and Janet have just a couple of reviews and they're really bad. She's using big capital letters. She's obviously upset. She posted us 2 reviews here. She updated it. And the doctor or the doctor's representative didn't do a very good job on this comment. Says HIPAA prevents me from even acknowledging whether or not I've even met this person or met any person and so on. So that's really not improving his public image. Oh, this one's really bad. Butcher, butcher, butcher. Don't trust. Oh. So that would take some work to neutralize those. Here's another one. I wanted to point this one out. It says, these people are scam artists. Don't go there. I'll leave it at that. So this is, Yelp will remove this. You might even be able to just click flag and say, this doesn't doesn't describe a personal consumer experience. In fact, I'm going to help this doctor out a bit, and I'll flag it for him. Obviously, the person is not describing a personal experience. And we'll see what happens. So I'll get an email in a few days that'll say whether or not they removed it. And we're going to get into a lot of details about handling negative reviews later in this webinar. Now here's another one that has a bunch of bad reviews. And I wanted to point out 2 different things here. Yelp sort means that is how Yelp sorts out your reviews. It decides which reviews go to the top, which are at the bottom, and so on. And a lot of it's dependent on how active this Yelp user is. Lauren has 32 friends and 13 reviews. That's pretty active. Gives a 5-star review. So that's a wonderful patient to post such a nice review. Dylan isn't quite as busy, and so his review's a little bit lower. And there's some good ones down here. Now if you want to just look at based on date, you'd click that and it shows the most recent ones. You can do it by rating. If you click it once, it shows you the best ones at the top. If you click it again, it shows you the worst ones at the top. So patients, potential patients might click ratings just so they can see the negative reviews. By the way, negative reviews are read about 5 times more than positive reviews. It really grabs their attention. W Dental Office has some negative reviews. Let's see what their score is here. We click the details. This is pretty good. 27 5 stars, 2 1 and 1. So this is great. There's nothing wrong with a couple bad ones when you have so many good ones. And what I also like about this is he has this one negative review. It says only 1 star. And he posts a very nice response. We strive to make your dental experience a great one. I'm very sorry to hear about this. I want to invite you back, etc., etc. Thanks for your feedback. So good. And then everything else is great with their reviews on this practice. So potential new patient looks at this, or then looks at this, especially with a guy that talks about HIPAA, and you'll see that more patients, of course, are going to want to come to this practice versus this practice. No pictures, beautiful pictures, not claimed, and of course quite active. But he's not advertising, and that's okay. This is a great page, but he has these other ads on here, which I'm going to go into next. Now, Yelp advertising does make a difference to your page. Here you can see an advertiser. They have a new patient exam special. There's no other ads. It goes straight down to their reviews. And even though this dentist is advertising, still has a really bad review here, and hasn't done a thing about it. So they should get on top of that. But they have their nice pictures. But best of all is nobody else. Now, like say, Comfort Dental is 3 stars. Here's Sharon. She has 4 stars. But you can see a difference. She should add more pictures. But anyway, you go to her page, and there's her information. And then you see an ad right there for Comfort Dental, and it shows this really happy person, but the review's only 3 stars. But it still gets right in the middle of this person's Yelp page. It's even more pronounced on this one with GMS with only 1.5 stars. And so you go, you know, my wife says I should go to GMS Dental, but I'm looking at this and I see Tranquility's got 3.5 stars, and this guy's only got 1.5 stars. Goes down a little bit more and seeing these bad reviews and seeing, well, you know, this is 24 miles away. Of course, they haven't even claimed their page yet. Here's another one where the Summer Smiles Dental and Orthodontics is 10 miles away from Mason Janet. Janet definitely needs to put some attention on this. And of course, they look at Summer Smiles and it's got 5 stars, 28 reviews. Why would they want to go to Mason Janet? Let's go over here. And we see Summer Smiles Dental and Orthodontics. Right away you can tell this is an advertiser because there's nobody else's ads on his Yelp page. Also, he has a video.
Summer Smiles is a family-oriented dental office. We offer the state-of-the-art digital paperless technology, all the way from digital x-rays to...
So he gets to promote himself, and Yelp actually does that for him. They send a videographer team in there, and that costs an extra $50 a month. But for $200 you can get the ads removed. It's up to you if you want to do that. Here we have another advertiser who has a lot of negative reviews, but still it looks better than, say, this one. And she's got 4 stars, but right in the middle there is Comfort Dental's ad. And even worse is this one, where GMS hasn't even claimed their Yelp page, and the most prominent thing on here is another dentist's practice. So that's the worst. This is better. This is even better. Advertising. And then this, of course, is the best. And in addition to all these wonderful reviews, there is one negative review down here. And everyone's going to read it. And so he sees this negative review, and of course he does the right thing, and he posts a public comment saying he's sorry this didn't work out. Hope you'll come back. He may have violated a little HIPAA there, but it's better than nothing. So this is a much more compelling Yelp page, and it's going to generate more new patients than the other 3. Now the 5th factor that changes an awful Yelp page to an awesome Yelp page is the details that you can add through your business owner page right up here. Now if we go to GMS Dental, we'll see there's no details at all. The hours, there's no business hours. There's no details about the practice, and of course the bad reviews. Clear to the bottom, not much at all from the practice owner. Here at W Dental, now you can see that he is not advertising because there is somebody else's ad on his Yelp page. But he's put a lot of details on here. He's got his hours, he's got from the business right here, and you can click this and you get this whole window that pops up with lots of extra details about the practice. You can put about his bio, you can put your mission statement, you can promote your practice in lots of ways. And if you go down to the bottom, there's even more information that you can put. For example, you can recommend another practice, up to 3 practices. Let's see if anybody's done that. Here's another good one. Infinity Dental Care, also not advertising. Lots of pictures, got 10 pictures there. Has the hours, has a whole description about the practice and about the doctor. Here we have Dr. Shirley, and doesn't look like there's much of a limit on what you can put there. And looks good to the end. By the way they're filtering unrecommended reviews, you just click it and it goes below all your other reviews, so it doesn't take you to another page. But we'll talk about filtered reviews later in the webinar. Then, of course, Summer Smiles Dental and Orthodontics looks great. It's got the same thing, has a lot of information. It's got his history in here. It's got the bio, and tells the patient pretty much, potential new patient, pretty much anything they could possibly want to know about the practice. So make sure you have lots of details on your Yelp page. Another good thing about adding details is that it keeps your page fresh. It shows Yelp that you are constantly working on it, and they like that, and they'll show you more prominently. It's just like Google. The practice owners who are engaged with their Yelp page and they're working on it and they're getting reviews and so on are going to show up more prominently when someone types in, let's say I want to find a dentist in Dallas, Texas, and it starts with the guys who are advertising. We've seen Comfort Dental's page, but then it goes to actually W Dental himself. He's got the highest number of reviews. Of course, we've seen all the things he's done with his page, all these pictures. Infinity comes up next, Floss is next. It's because these guys are really getting reviews. They're putting a lot of work into their Yelp pages, and adding those details is a part of that. So there you go. Those are the 5 different ways you can improve your Yelp page. Now let's talk about removing negative reviews. Okay, so there are 3 ways to remove a negative review. 1, flag it as a user, and that can be done by anybody, doesn't need to be the business owner. 2 is to, as from your business account, flag it. And 3, you make the reviewer happy so that he or she updates the review or removes it entirely. Now, if all else fails and you can't get a negative review removed, then post a public comment to neutralize it. Now, the reason we've been having really good success in removing reviews is because we know the rules that Yelp follows. They have guidelines. And if you scroll to the bottom of any Yelp page, you'll see a link for content guidelines and also review guidelines. Now, a lot of negative reviews violate these rules. For example, they have inappropriate content. They're harassing, or there's hate speech, or they're bigotry. Sometimes it's irrelevant material, like say they're ranting about the business's employment practices or politics. Here's another one on personal experience. Some reviewers just post what their husbands had to say. Also, accuracy. They exaggerate or misrepresent their experience. So if you understand the rules really well, then you can tell Yelp that such and such review violates the rule on conflicts of interest because the reviewer is promoting a different practice, for example. So by knowing these guidelines, you'll know exactly which reviews you can get rid of and which ones you can't. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to flag a review, and anyone can do this from their personal account. This practice obviously has a lot of problems, and it would take a year or more to clean it up, but I did flag this one here. Angelica says, my husband went to this office for a 6-month checkup, and so on. So in other words, she's violating Yelp's guidelines on reviews by reporting an incident of her husband, not her own. So I already flagged this one, and it says you click the flag. So I'll show you how I did it. I'll just flag this one. I'm not going to actually submit it. And you get this screen which says, what do you want to report? Why do you want to report this review? And in this case, Angelica's, it doesn't describe a personal consumer experience. And then right here I would write how it violates Yelp's guidelines, etc., etc., etc. And then I'd click flag, but I'm not going to do it because it doesn't apply to this review up here, but it does with Angelica's. And I'll hear in a few days if they're going to remove it. Also, if they do remove it, they will let Angelica know that they removed it. So the next method is to go to a business account. And I've gotten permission from a client to show you how that works. You go to Yelp for business owners and log in. And then on the left here, you click Reviews. And in his case, he's got all these wonderful reviews, but let's say this one here was bad. We didn't like it. So you just flag this review. And then Yelp gives you some more options about it. False information, or it's not a personal experience, or violates privacy standards, and so on. Let's say we thought it did that. You'd fill it out, and then you'd click Flag. And that's all there is to that. Now, if the review does not violate Yelp's guidelines, or Yelp will not remove it, your next best option is to contact the reviewer and make him or her happy. If you know the person's phone number in your patient records and you know who it is, I recommend calling them up and talking to them and find a solution. You can also send them an email or invite them in to talk about it. You can also communicate to that patient through Yelp, but you need to do it very, very carefully. To communicate to the person in Yelp, you click Reviews on the left in your business account, and then you would click Send Private Message next to that person. And Yelp gives you some guidelines to be very careful. Don't ask for favors, don't send gifts, and keep it simple and friendly. Now, what you post here, you only get one shot, and you better do it right. You can't take it back. It's going to go straight to that person. Now, sometimes you'll click Send, and then you'll get a message that says, this reviewer does not want to receive messages from business owners. And that means, of course, they've selected that under their own account, saying they don't want to receive anything from you. So that leaves only one final option, and that is to post a public comment. And you'll see that option under every single review, and it's also very important to do it if it's a negative review so that it neutralizes it. Here we have a really good response that Dr. Gottlieb made. And as I mentioned before, he gave me permission to show this to you. Here's a negative review from this user here, and he posted this response. It's simple. He just apologizes for the experience, and that's that. Here's another one. This one, he does feel they need to get her back in and would really like her to come back. Obviously, there's no option here to send a private message, but he can edit his comment anytime he wants or remove it. And you can see right here it says, this customer has asked not to be contacted by business owners. So that only leaves one option, which is to post a public comment. And I'll show you how it looks on his Yelp page, because it looks great. And it's way down here. Okay. So she didn't like the hygienist experience. And says, Dear Robin, I wish to apologize for your unpleasant experience with one of our hygienists. It does not sit well with me to know that you were dissatisfied with your experience in my office. And so on. I'd love to talk to you. Please contact my office. So it's simple, it's clear, it's got a nice picture of him, it shows he cares, and he actually hasn't had any more negative reviews ever since. And this is from an experience back in 2012. If you look at the details here, he's got 14 great reviews and only those 2 negative reviews. So this is an awesome Yelp page. Now I found another review that the doctor handled beautifully. No, that's not it. Anyway, the patient liked his response so well. Here it is. So this patient says, the tooth was in great shape, and I giving him 1 star. It was just horrible, and So the doctor posts this great review, or a public comment. Says, thank you for taking the time to comment. We welcome feedback, and so on. We do apologize. I'll do anything it takes. I'll come in on Sunday. Want to make sure you're a happy patient. So then he called and emailed within the hour of my post yesterday and apologized and gave me his personal cell phone number and so on. And then a little while later, he posted another review and he wasn't happy. Again, the doctor persisted, and Eric now has left a 5-star review. He's clicked his check-in button on his cell phone 3 times he's gone in there, and he's a happy camper. So well done to this doctor at W Dental. Okay, now I want to go over 3 different ways that you can get more positive reviews. And the first one is the easiest. All you need to do is get a sign. Patients will see the sign. Patients that are Yelp members and Yelp users, they'll see your sign and go, oh, what a good idea. Making the sign is very easy, and Yelp is happy for you to use their logo. And they have a web page. It's called yelp.com/brand. And if you go to this page, they have the logos that you can use, and their guidelines about how to use them, things they don't want you to do, and so on. So, and you can get an acrylic holder like this at Amazon. It's just an acrylic card holder, and they're pretty cheap, $5. Or you can make your own sign however you want, so that patients are quite aware of the fact that you are on Yelp. The second way that you can get more Yelp reviews is to simply ask patients if they participate on Yelp, or if they're Yelpers, or how they felt about their visit, and if they'd like to share their experience with others. We'd appreciate a Yelp review. You can be subtle about it. For example, you could put it at the bottom of your newsletter. If you send out a newsletter, you can mention that, yeah, we're now on Yelp, check us out. And that's all you have to say. And if they like posting reviews, they will just go ahead and do that. And the third way, perhaps the most important way of all, is to provide an awesome experience for your patients. Of course, this is the most important of all. So if you provide 5-star service, you give an awesome experience to your patients, it'll be very easy to get great reviews. And this is the number one problem that we find with reviews, is the reviews are actually mostly true. And when there's lots of positive reviews, same thing. And if there's not very many reviews, it often means there's nothing really to get excited about. Now, if you look at the positive reviews of these high-end dentists, you're going to see what you have to do to create an awesome experience. Just compare what the patients say about their visits. Like here with Allison, she's 5 stars, felt welcome even before she went in the door. She's got this great staff member taking care of her. She's terrified of dental work. The doctor was attentive and didn't rush, and he was gentle, didn't try to sell any unnecessary services or products. The office is organized, no surprises with his billing, clean and relaxing. It just goes on. Another one here. Oh yeah, I showed just this one earlier about Dr. Wayne calling him from his cell and do whatever it takes to make it go right. And it was really smart that he did, because this guy has 210 reviews and 386 friends. That means 386 people read this review. Here's another one of our clients, and you can see all these great reviews. Little extra things that Dr. Timbers did for Andrew. Here he feels very comfortable. I mean, just look at all these great reviews and it'll tell you what you need to do. Here's a good one. Elliot says, never had to wait for more than 5 minutes. And only, it's just the hygienists are great at getting in the difficult places. Dr. Gottlieb gives him the time of day. It doesn't seem rushed. You can also figure out what you need to do to make your practice more awesome by looking at the negative reviews. For example, here this negative review says the front desk manager is very rude. Here's another one, they cancel my appointments. Here's another one where they're disorganized. No fewer than 5 people tried to schedule, or JS tried to schedule with them. Big mistake. A lot of pain. Here's another good one. The staff is friendly, but the place is a dump. Carpet is stained, and so on. So, if you compare your practice to the ideal practice, it should be pretty obvious what you need to do to make it into a 5-star service. Okay, so if you have any questions about Yelp, go ahead and type them into the box to the right. Yelp is a big company, and it's full of free opportunities for you, and we've only covered some of them. When our clients make their pages into awesome pages by creating wow experiences for their patients, they get a steady flow of great Yelp reviews. And when they implement other promotional methods that we customize for them, they get a steady flow of new patients, and it increases every month. So now I have several questions about Yelp from you that I want to answer. But first I'd like my colleague Clayton Adler to tell you how ExecTech can help you get more profit and joy from your practice. I'll be back in a few minutes. Clayton?
Thanks, Mike. Helping clients with Yelp and their internet presence is just one component of our complete management consulting services. My name is Clayton Adler, and I am the top service consultant here at ExecTech. To give you some background on ExecTech, we started in 1991, and we're a practice management consulting company for doctors who want to improve their practices from a business standpoint. Unlike other practice building programs, ExecTech's hands-on consulting program includes personalized, one-on-one services to help practice owners implement the improvements and management skills that they need and want in order to reach their goals. The ExecTech program utilizes one-on-one consulting sessions on-site in your practice on a regular basis, weekly follow-up by phone, and unlimited phone and email support to help you solve your practice problems. For each difficulty you encounter, your ExecTech consultant helps you locate and plan a step-by-step solution that is right for you. See, when you make steady progress with simple, direct steps, you make lasting changes. And as you may know, it can be very difficult to implement improvements in a practice through seminars in distant locations, bulky manuals, DVDs, etc. And usually the results are short-term. Fortunately, ExecTech does not operate this way and does not give you cookie-cutter, one-size-fits-all advice. The ExecTech program is customized to your personality, your goals, your style, your resources, the demographic of your practice, even the number of staff and the physical size of your office. See, this makes permanent practice improvement more certain than with any other practice management consulting company or practice building approach. The ExecTech program is devised for easy implementation. This is why we are so effective. In addition to effective marketing systems, a big component to our consulting program is helping practice owners remove the barriers that stop patients from coming to you. One of the biggest barriers to attracting more new patients lies in how you manage your staff. See, your staff can be your biggest marketing asset or your biggest liability in your practice. We've been helping practice owners deal with staff issues to create better office harmony and overall patient experience in the practice for the past 23 years. I wanted to share some brief examples on how we helped our clients deal with staff issues. About a year and a half ago, one of our clients had a situation where his office manager was not showing up on time at the office. She was ignoring orders that the doctors would give her and basically treating the practice like it was her practice and not the doctor's practice. And we worked with this client on a step-by-step handling of the situation. And in the year following, the practice did $567,000 more in production and $611,000 more in collections than it did the year before. Another one of our clients had a front desk person who was mad at the doctor, and she was pocketing cash payments from patients and was letting patients leave the practice unscheduled for their next visit. She was also making it more difficult than necessary for new patients to schedule an appointment. And this cost the practice tremendously in the ability to effectively treat its patients and obviously in lost revenue. We helped the practice owner to uncover and handle this situation, and she experienced tremendous relief as a result. Another one of our clients had a person on his front desk who refused to collect money from patients if she didn't feel like it. She would spend a considerable amount of time during the day chatting with patients and with friends who would drop by the practice. And then when the doctor would ask about incomplete assignments, she would complain that she was being given too much to do and did not have enough time to get the work done. We helped our client handle this situation and then reorganize his front desk. A few months ago, he told us that since that time, his personal income from the practice has increased by $20,000 per month. I also wanted to share with you a very recent marketing success story from one of our clients. He said, ExecTech has helped our practice increase our new patients from 2 new patients per month to 24 per month on average. Total production is up 36% from last year, and the profit is up 145% in 2014 compared to 2013. ExecTech implemented marketing systems to enable us to manage the way we felt comfortable managing. They personalize things for us while coaching us along the way. Everything is based on numbers, so it's clear what is working and when it's working. They offered a customized solution for our entire practice by extracting the bad things and leaving in the things we did well. We started with successful internal marketing and public relations and expanded out to external sources when we were ready. This program has made us realize that the successes of our business are determined by ourselves and not by outside factors. The first step was making the commitment to sign up for the program. That was the hard part. Thankfully, with ExecTech on our side, we feel we have a great advantage for success. And now, to give you greater perspective of what our consulting program can do, here is what another one of our clients recently had to say about our program. When I started the ExecTech program 3 years ago, I was a young practice owner who did not have much experience in running a dental office. I struggled in managing my staff and in helping them perform at a higher level. With the goals of reducing stress and increasing profit in my practice, I began my journey with ExecTech. ExecTech offered both coaching and consulting services. Their coaching sessions improved my interpersonal skills in dealing with patients and with staff members so that I was in better control of various situations. My consultant was a very experienced expert who had helped more than 1,000 practices to achieve their goals. My program was tailored to my needs, and I learned how to put specific systems in place in order to get the results that I wanted. My consultant and coach taught me the necessary skills to manage my staff and run the office. See, when I ran into problems that needed immediate help, my consultant was always available to offer advice. Though we were producing in a good range when I started the program, my office production and collections increased by more than 100% in less than 3 years on the ExecTech program. The things that I learned from ExecTech will benefit me the rest of my career. My consultant also helped me with an expansion plan to build a brand new facility that doubled the size of my old office. My investment in ExecTech was the best money that I have ever spent. I would highly recommend anyone to contact them if you want to go to the next level of your practice. ExecTech truly is the best business investment you can make. Okay, so I want to wrap this up, but I wanted to inform the doctors on this call that as part of attending today's webinar, each practice owner will have an opportunity to receive a free personalized telephone consultation, and I will do this consultation with you personally. This enlightening 20 to 30 minute telephone consultation will help you uncover your greatest strengths and weaknesses as a business owner. And I'll be able to provide you with valuable feedback to your practice concerns and goals, as well as answer any questions you may have. This is a great way for you to find out what ExecTech is all about and if our consulting systems are right for you. And I can discuss any area of your practice with you, such as how to generate more new patients, staff management and performance issues, treatment presentation and acceptance, patient retention, overhead control, you name it. So, to arrange this free consultation, I want you to write down this number to call: 1-800-555-6063 and press option 2. So there you have it. I look forward to speaking with you and helping you create the practice of your dreams. Take care.
Okay, thank you very much, Clayton. So there's several questions that I would like to answer before. I'd like to do it in about 5 minutes and wrap this up. The first question is, if I buy advertising, will Yelp hide my negative reviews and show my positive reviews? And I wish that was the case. We'd have it would be really much easier if we could do that. Just pay a little money and bang, all those negative reviews would go away. Unfortunately, that's not the case. And it's been a matter of discussion and speculation and study for a few years now. Harvard Business School probably did the most thorough investigation to see if you can buy your way out of negative reviews. And they spent a lot of time looking at review placement and how they were displayed and in what order. And they were able to prove that Yelp does not touch those if you buy advertising or if you stop buying advertising. So unfortunately, that is a myth. Another question was, is there any way of getting rid of a 3-year-old bad review? We've covered that. How to get rid of bad reviews, we've taken care of that. Should I make reference to a reviewer's obvious error in the review, such as day of visit or ethnicity of provider? The answer is not sure it's necessary that you correct the reviewer's errors. If the review is negative or positive, correcting these points shouldn't matter. Let's see. Okay. If our practice has a large elderly population, how can we still get reviews to bring in younger patients? Well, the answer is, of course, it's a good idea to get in younger patients, but don't be surprised at how many of your elderly patients are using Yelp. Just follow the steps I outlined in today's webinar, and you might be surprised at how many reviews you can get from your elderly patients. Here's another question. Filter. Okay, this was the biggest question. How can my patients get their reviews posted and not filtered? And another one, why are most of my Yelp reviews hidden in the not recommended section? Another one, how to get our positive reviews to show up. Okay, we had several of those. So let me show you a solution for this. So if you scroll down to the bottom of your Yelp page, you will often see the 7 other reviews that are not currently recommended. And then you can scroll down a little further. They put a couple of them right below on your page, but to see all of them, you have to click another link. And what you'll see is that these patients are not very involved with Yelp. Only 1 review, only 4 reviews, 9 reviews, that's not bad, but still not quite enough to show that Jennifer is truly engaged as a Yelp member. 1 review, 5 reviews, 3 reviews, and so on. It's the case for all of the filtered reviews. Here's some more. Only 3 reviews, only 1 review. There's some more. 2 reviews, 1 review, 1 review. The reviews that don't get filtered are from people like, say, this guy. Or Kea, it's a female, 320 friends and 670 reviews. And she's checking in, she's got her picture. If you go to her profile, you'll see she's just into Yelp. She's just going crazy with Yelp, posting several reviews every month. Now, her review is not going to get filtered. She's a trusted member of Yelp, and Yelp will show her reviews. So when you have a heavy Yelp user as a patient, definitely put on your A game and take really good care of them. Now, I attended a webinar presented by Yelp where the man giving the webinar actually said this. He said, everybody on Yelp has a score. Every reviewer has a score. And if their score is too low, we filter out their reviews. They have to get their scores up in order for us to display their reviews. And the way that they get their scores up is by being engaged with Yelp. And I thought it's actually probably a little bit more than that. If the practice owner is very engaged with Yelp, that gives him a higher score point when he's trying to delete or remove a negative review. Anyway, it does seem that you have more results if you're really into Yelp and improving your page. So when patients post a review, and it's the first time they've ever posted a review for Yelp, it's probably going to be filtered. In which case you can give your patients a letter like this that shows them all the different ways they can raise their point value. If they download Yelp's mobile phone app, that gets them some points. If they click the check-in button on the Yelp app, it proves to Yelp that the patient was actually in your office, and it's less likely to be a fake review. The more reviews the patient writes, the better, and increases the credibility of that patient. If they fill out their profile and they include their picture in their profile, and they answer some of the questions about themselves, that increases their score. And also if they participate with other reviewers, when they read a review that they think is helpful or funny and they click useful or funny buttons, that increases their popularity. More friends helps that as well. So it's a good idea for you to also become more engaged with Yelp and enjoy it. Use it for finding great restaurants. Use it to get terrific hotels when you're on vacation, and post those reviews. Okay, well, I want to thank you very much for attending this webinar. I hope you have found some good ideas you can use to make your Yelp page look better, to remove some negative reviews, and to get many more positive reviews. As I mentioned at the start of the webinar, we have 3 gifts for you. The first one is the 30-minute consultation with Clayton. He is so awesome. He knows so much about practice management that you will be quite happy with your time with him. The second gift is a free copy, a 2-for-1 offer with Yelp Help for Healthcare Providers book. If you buy the paperback, you will get the PDF download at no extra charge. So you'll get both versions for $29.95. And this webinar was based on this book. It has no fluff. It's all very direct, step-by-step instructions on how to take command of your Yelp page. The third gift is a copy of this webinar that you can watch on our website at your leisure. So to get any of these gifts, simply go to exectechweb.com/gifts. GIFTS. exectechweb.com/gifts, and that's where you can get everything that I've mentioned. Well, thank you again for attending this webinar. I wish you the very best with your Yelp page, and good night.